Welcome to Podtendo, a Nintendo podcast, where they analyze, reminisce, and replay the glory of old Nintendo games.
The aliens are fast, spit acid, and are right behind you. It's Alien 3 for Genesis, Game Gear, NES, and Game Boy. Destroy deadly facehuggers before they get you.
Hey guys, welcome to the Podtendo podcast, where we analyze, reminisce, and replay the glory of old Nintendo games. We contacted on... Oh, no, I'm not going to say that part. Check us out, I don't know, YouTube maybe, if you ever wanted to contact us. Podtendo, gmail.com. I'm your co-host, Mick, and I'm joined every episode by my lovely and talented co-host...
Tyson.
Cool, welcome. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween, everybody.
Cool. Normally we do Halloween specials. We've looked at Are You Afraid of the Darks, and Goosebumps, Trails of Horrors, and you're actually getting an actual numbered show. Our only numbered show of October this year. There you go. That's what a scary surprise for everyone.
Yeah, but it's okay. Let's face it. It's sometimes it's spooky, scary month. We like to do all sorts of other fun things. It's that one time a year where we can get kind of creative.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, oh, it's just our Halloween special, but then I think according to like all my documents and like all my little folders, I have it like listed as an actual numbered show, and I was like, I guess it has to be ranked in the YouTube pantheon tomorrow. So I guess it'll be tomorrow. Maybe it'll be. We'll figure that out later. Anyways, what are we? What is Podtendo? We are like four things. Let's play pop culture retrospective something show. Review. Oh yeah, we also review games, so it's pretty fun. So we're gonna look at all those things. You get a little bit of pop culture, look at the game. Hopefully short and sweet. Not a lot of meat and potatoes in today's entry of Alien 3. It was developed by Probe Software. It sold less than 1 million copies. It was released October 1992. How Long to Beat has this game at 4 hours. Price at release was $49.99, and if you factored in inflation, that's right, folks. Following along, that's $94.22 today. eBay price, you can get a copy for $50. I almost bought one. I love this old Sega boxes and those hard plastic clamshells, but I didn't because that's silly.
Yeah. One of those times where you're like, I wish 3D printers were simplified enough that you could just like 3D print a Sega case and just like...
I mean, you could probably just buy a bunch of blanks and just
blank ones,
print off. Yeah, okay. eShop, you can't buy this anywhere. It's not digitally available. Where to play it, you have to get an original cart or an emulator, like a pirate. Arrgh. That's my That's my effort of Halloween this year.
What are you? Your pirates?
Anything before we go into the Wayback Machine?
No, let's jump right on into it.
Yeah, we are a little strapped for time, so we're going to be making, as Gandalf will say, quick case or something. Wayback Machine, October 92. What's our favorite show? Could be The Simpsons. Season 3, Episode 3. When Flanders fails, Homer helps out Flanders' left-hand store. Hilarity ensues. Okay.
Yep. Homer is a jerk until he feels bad enough.
And has like a redemptive arc, which doesn't happen past season 8. So enjoy it while it's there. Other top TV shows you can watch: 60 Minutes, Roseanne, Home Improvement, Murphy Brown, and Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, it's like some
cool
90s TV stuff. Everybody knows I'm a fan of one of these shows.
Oh yeah, Tyson loves Murder, She Wrote. I'm not even making a joke. That's legitimately one of his favorite shows.
It's true. It's a good show.
Top cartoons, Toonheads, or these are actually shows that debuted in 1992. Toonheads, Eek the Cat, X-Men animated series, Dog City, The Addams Family, Goof Troop, and Batman the animated series.
Wow. So this is like peak Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah. And like looking at that list, I kind of feel like there's like a Batman video game that's supposed to be pretty good, like a Batman and Robin animated series. And I mean, we probably should get to the Goof Troop on the Super Nintendo at some point too, so...
yes. Yes.
So we'll be back at this time. That's great. I love when we just... Well, I guess it's probably not. That was just all this. I guess maybe the game didn't come out at the same time as the cartoon. Shut up, Mick. Just keep going. Top movies that came out in October of 1992 were Hero, Mighty Ducks, Under Siege, and Candyman.
Oh, wow. Hero has aged better than most of these movies, but Candyman has also not aged, or has done pretty good.
Yeah.
It still even holds up. And if you're looking for a movie to watch this Halloween, put on Candyman and then the newest ones because they kind of link it together. So
I didn't know that when I watched the newest Candyman that it's actually like they tell the story of the first movie in that movie. And I was like, oh, it's kind of neat. And it's like kind of like legend. And I was like, neat, cool. Yeah, Candyman, if you're interested, pretty solid series. You'd be like, oh, wow, that's better than I expected. Top video games. So this year we saw Street Fighter 2 and Link to the Past. Wow, we've been in 92 a lot.
Yeah, we sure have.
Yeah.
It's a good year. It's a good year. Yes.
Yeah, cool. And then finally, top 3 songs according to the Billboard charts. Usually we ask the age-old question, do we want to live there? I can't imagine I already have opinion, so I'm going to say probably not. I think 94 is like the better year. Like just jump ahead 2 years.
Yeah, I'm tempting.
Yeah,
but I would almost say yes, just so I could play me some Link to the Past, watch X-Men,
and Street Fighter 2.
Watch Batman the animated series.
You are pretty satisfied for just like what you have in your life. Top 3 songs according to the Billboard charts. Maybe this is a deciding factor. And this song, you know what? Almost makes me want to play sound clips. But we're not going to because again, I'm short on time. Number 3 song is "Jump" by Criss Cross. Number 2 song is "Baby Got Back" by Sir Mix-a-Lot, and the number 1 song is "End of the Road" by Boys II Men.
Okay, so music is all right. It's very 90s.
Oh, yes, but jump. I don't know. That almost got me. So Tyson is a maybe, probably a yes. I'm also a maybe, but more on the no side of the maybe. So, I don't know if we're gonna be time traveling this Halloween.
Yeah, maybe if we have a good Aliens game to go along with this, it might tip the scale. So let's see what kind of game we got on our hands.
You're putting a lot of pressure on this crappy game. Development details. The Super Nintendo version includes 6 stages and a password feature, which was absent from the Game Boy version. The Sega version includes 15 stages. The Genesis and SNES versions differ in design and graphics, and the Genesis version includes larger alien character models. The Amiga version, which has 14 levels, wow, the development notes are good when point 3 is a third iteration with different levels, features gameplay that moves slightly slower than the Genesis version, but otherwise nearly identical. The Commodore, oh my gosh, another one? No, Commodore 64, you get no respect. The Game Boy version, unlike the other versions, is played from an overhead perspective. Ooh. The Genesis version was chosen by 3 out of 4 editors at the Best Movie Game, a category for the publication's 1992 Golden Meg Awards.
Okay. Wow. That's a very prestigious award.
Apparently, as the Best Movie Game, a category in the Golden... I don't know what that is. For the 1993 Golden Meg Awards, the SNES version won Best Action/Adventure Game and was runner-up for the Best Movie Game, losing out to the Genesis version of Disney's Aladdin.
Okay. Well, I guess it was fairly critically acclaimed.
It's I think it's not a terrible game. Like pull the wool off your eyes. It serves its purpose. It's a little goofy. It's a little retro-y. It has that Sega big open world, and you're like, man, why are the worlds so big in these games? But like they're just like so well poorly organized. Like what's going on? Yeah. It's that game. Yeah.
Yeah. It's arcade past shows, and if it was, I think if there was less, there was some time limit.
Yeah.
I think these games get a lot like funner.
I agree 100%. If you could just change some of the elements and get away, from those awful arcade, or give a save feature or a password system that makes just getting around a little quicker. Yep, this is probably a game. And what is it held back by? Poor choices from like the game structure, right? Point of view, not really anything to do with the game itself. So cool. Want to look at the controls fast?
Absolutely.
All right. Aliens 3 is a side-scrolling run-and-gun game in which the player controls Ellen Ripley, the film's main character, who progresses through the Fiorna 161 prison colony that was featured in the film. You can jump, shoot, climb ladders, crawl through tunnels, open doors, and use elevators. Unlike the film, Ripley has a large arsenal of weapons that can be used against the game's enemies, consisting of aliens and facehuggers. Weapons include pulse rifles, flamethrowers, and grenades. A motion tracker warns the player of nearby enemies. Level objects are or objectives are chosen from the computer terminal, which are located throughout the game and also offer blueprints of the prison's layout. Objectives include sealing off doors, prevent aliens from entering, and rescuing prisoners. A time limit is present in each level, and the player loses a life if the level is not completed before the time expires. The game concludes with a battle between Ripley and the alien queen. Well, technically it's just a big alien called a guardian that jumps up and throws acid around.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, wait. No. The Super Nintendo version does have a queen alien fight.
Oh. Well, I spoilers. I played the Sega one. So that's the one that we grew up with.
So I played the Sega one, or the Super Nintendo one, because I want a little bit of dichotomy. Now I watched a playthrough of like both the Sega and the Super Nintendo endings to kind of get a feel, and yeah, it's slightly different. I mean, you just enter a room, you see the queen alien, you go press a button, and then like a big like loader thing just pushes her into some lava. It's really not that exciting.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, cool. And I'm probably talk about it at some point. So like I have like the ending. Yeah, okay, we'll talk about it at some point, but it's there. First memories of this game. So now we know controls. Do you have any? I think we talked about gameplay actually. We're doing something different. So first memories. Do you have any first memories of this game?
No, this was kind of tucked in around the time of us having the toys.
Okay.
I think. And we probably were playing the toys and playing the game. I remember just having this game. I don't remember us getting it.
Okay.
And just spending a lot of time playing it. And this was one of the mainstays in the Sega rotation, but we didn't play it enough to get good at it or to memorize the levels because, oh boy, this game makes you memorize every level if you want to pass it. So.
Every single Sega game is like this. Like, they just like, we love building these big open levels. Look how great the Great Tree is in this Jungle Book game. It's amazing, isn't it? How it's like so big. But I'm like, where are we? Everything looks the same.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything special. You spam the same graphics all over this giant map, and I have no idea what's going on. Every single Sega game's like that. It's just, it's...
Oh, it's like... I've seen better like Mario Maker levels than most Sega games.
Look at Sonic levels. Sonic levels are just bizarre too. Like you lay it out like Green Hill Zone, and you're like, there's 12 paths, and there's this, and there's. It's just a mess.
Yeah. Well, I find even in Sonic Mania, it kind of has some of those moments of like, okay, so I was sliding down a ramp, and now I am like running. Like you just end up like swimming in an area, and you're like, how am I swimming after like sliding upwards? It like makes no sense.
Yeah.
And just it's just garbage on the screen.
It's just how, and it's obviously the Sega Genesis, when they were making games, they had this ability to have lots of ROM probably, or RAM that was probably accessible to them, so they could like create these worlds and have the procedural generations happen, right? And they're like, oh cool, look, we can replay these like they obviously did something cool with it, but nothing is notable. All the levels are big, boring, awful. For myself, I think this was like a bargain store find. I kind of feel like there was some discount game somewhere. It was only like $20. It was definitely a very reasonable price where we got it from. I know we had the plastic clamshell, like I'd mentioned before. Also, one of the reasons I didn't want to spend $50 on it. I don't think I spent $50 back on it. Now, we got our Sega later. We probably didn't get our Sega until, I don't know, later 90s, but it was already our secondary console. We definitely had Super Nintendo. We might have had an N64 at that point, and then we got a Sega. So the Sega was relegated to staying at Grandma and Grandpa's, so we didn't have to bring video games with us every time we went to visit our grandparents. And we'd sit in the basement on this little 13-inch television and just play the heck out of, like, it was Justice League. There was a fighting game, Justice League, that we had. We had Sonic 2. There was Alien 3, and I feel like there's like another game that's like, X-Men 2 Clone Wars. And it would just be like a rotation of those, right? So
don't forget Columns.
Oh, Columns.
We also had Columns.
Yeah, Columns was there.
Yeah.
So it was one of those, I don't know what to say. In fact, I want to say maybe I was 10, so it was like 97 when we got this.
It was nice for a time killer when we were at Grandma and Grandpa's, but we didn't like all the games we had for like fun to sit down and play for a bit, but never a game that you wanted to like beat.
No, that we weren't going back and being like, time to bust out our cool RPG. We got to play. What are the ones on the Genesis called? Star or somethings?
Phantasy Star.
Phantasy Stars. Oh, I better play more Phantasy Star. No, we never did that. So that's our first memories, first experience of this game. And probably went in line with, like us kind of watching the movies. And oh, neat, cool.
Yes.
Cool. Well, that's what we bring to the table. So that's why we had to get this, guys. This is like a important part of our background. Tyson doesn't know where it came from. Didn't like playing it. Didn't really have a fun game. But it's been on a list, and we have to complete our list. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been an intriguing game. It's a very frustrating game, but it's a very intriguing game because it's like aliens, but with like in a Alien 3 wrapper. Like, we had all the fun, cool guns. We were running around. You're constantly blowing up aliens. Yeah, like, action-wise, it's fun. It's just difficult and demands that you must memorize all the locations.
Yeah.
And that can just get frustrating for a kid that barely can pay attention as it is.
Unless you have a very accurate guide, you're going to have a bad time. On to the story of this game, though. You are Ellen Ripley. You've crashed on prison planet Fiornia Fury 161. An alien is loose and is up to you to explore the facility of interlocking hallways, living quarters, and massive ventilation shafts to destroy the xenomorph and rescue the captured prisoners. That is what happened. Level notes on the start screen. You just kind of start the game. There's not really... I guess there's like you can enter a password, but nothing really imaginative. As most start screens are, which is why I've really never included them. It wasn't until Banjo where I was like, oh, they've done something unique with this like screen. Maybe we should talk about this.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what else? You know what other thing we've kind of like I just forgot and I really should include in my notes somehow. I don't know how. Remember we used to do like, what's the hook? And like, are you going to beat it? We don't really ask those questions anymore.
It's true. We should probably just tuck them in there somewhere. Make sure that we don't forget to ask that question.
Yeah. Wait, what was the last game we played? Maybe we just haven't played any games for a while. Maybe that's the issue. I guess the last 3 shows were movies. And then it was Turok. And maybe we talked about The Hook. And the Disney Trio, that was a tough one, right? Deadpool,
Yeah.
Tony Hawk 2, we probably brought it up. Okay, well, maybe we do it more.
Okay.
Oh,
okay. So do you want to address what's the hook right now?
Yeah, so what is the hook of this game? So you turn it on, you're playing for 30 minutes. Are you turning the game off or are you going to keep going?
No, see, I think the hook is like what gets you to pick this game up off the shelf.
No, the hook is you start playing the game and it's what immediately, like you have a box of games, what keeps it in the console? What keeps this, like, the power on?
Okay, I would say the aesthetic.
Yep.
Just because, like, it's aliens. They sound like aliens. They look like aliens.
Sound design. It sounds perfect. Like when you're shooting those grenade launchers, and it's like perfect. It's an amazing sound. It's the sound design done so well in this game. You're just gonna have fun just listening to all the aliens blow up.
Yep, and even just like the little horror stinger, like the in between stuff. Very synthy.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, very, very solid. Okay. So apparently I do have some new parts. So we're going to do a review kind of similar to more of our movie reviews, just it was a little quicker. Because I wrote out every single stage in this document. There was 15 of them, just like the development details said. Every stage looks the same. Yeah. There's aliens, you save guys, and you move on. It's all...
There's some times where it's like a hospital. There's some times where it's like surface.
Yeah. And then you're in
then there's sometimes like there's ventilation shafts, and then there's times when you're in like a metal foundry.
Okay, so there's 4 locations, and that's the whole game.
Yeah.
That's it. So I was like, you know what we don't need to do? Talk about this game in that much detail. So let's just look at these fun. Apparently we're doing, if we do Side Quest Cinemas, this is the new format I'm trying. So gameplay. Just let's talk maybe in general quick about the gameplay. So I wrote it down. It's a Contra clone. You move around at 2D stages, run and gun. The gun variety is actually very solid. I enjoy kind of all the different equipment you get. The arsenal you have makes kind of you a very formidable protagonist. Now yourself, any comments on the gameplay of Alien 3?
Yeah. So objective of every level is to round up all the survivors, and they're kind of like stuck in the wall, and you run up to them, and they like fall to the ground while trying to avoid aliens wrecking your day. And they're everywhere. They'll pop out of the ground, and you have a variety of weapons to use, like a flamethrower, a pulse rifle, grenade launcher, grenades. I feel like I'm forgetting one. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And you just like you have a time limit. Grab, like, say everybody, get to the exit. Simple.
Nice.
Repeat ad nauseum.
Yeah. All right. How about the graphics of this game? So the design of the xenomorphs is great, movie accurate. They did a really nice job actually on the sprites. It's varied. As we kind of mentioned before, the backgrounds are absolutely just awful. Just they're the same thing all the time, and then the graphics do kind of vary between the releases, which is kind of cool, right? The SNES has kind of, I think, better overall graphics, but the HUD is terrible. You don't have a health bar, you don't know how much ammo you have. It's kind of a bit more ambiguous. Whereas I think the Genesis, you do get a little bit more meat on the potato, and they give you a lot more information while you're playing. But the game suffers from like big world level design that Sega loves.
Yeah, and I think on the Super Nintendo it's cropped in, so like everything looks a little bit bigger, but it's also like that's way harder to just tell. And even on the Sega, just the layout of the levels are sometimes just like you have to climb up a ladder, and then you have to make a blind jump onto a slippery slope to try to get somebody, and it's like, this is so awkward. Like, why am I doing these things? It doesn't feel like there's a flow to the game. It just feels like you're just doing frustrating thing after frustrating thing, and when you take damage you just get hit back. But on the graphics side,
I was gonna say that you're giving us good like gameplay analysis, but like we're talking about graphics, so I'm glad you glad you got there. Good. But
like the animation's pretty solid. Like when it bursts out of the aliens like burst out of the ground and they charge you, it looks very cool and very scary. I remember being very scared as a kid. But yeah, it's very simplistic, and it's does what it can. Yeah. But the backgrounds and sameness is kind of hard to look at after a while.
Yeah. How about fun factor? So just overall fun factor of the game, you're done with the experience, you're walking away. It is satisfying to blow up the aliens, right? That pipe bomb or whatever you want to call it, that I love that sound so much. It's just such a satisfying sound. So in terms of fun factor, that's about it. Like, there's lots of difficulty, and you're just going to be frustrated, and you're probably not going to play this game if you just want to purely have fun. So, yourself, do you have any, like, fun factor? Would you jumped out, you're like, oh, that was cool?
Yeah, this game is, I think, a lot of fun. Rotating through all the weapons and trying to scramble is a bit too much, which is why I could see the like Amiga and Commodore 64 slowed the game down, so you could kind of have a second to be like, okay, no, now switch. It's frantic, it's hectic. The aliens kind of have a threat to them. If you like aliens, this is one of the best like 2D side-scrolling platformers. There's a decent one on the Game Boy Advanced, I think.
But is it fun?
I think for 15 minutes, yes.
Okay.
But once that timer starts to like, and you can't explore the levels. If you could just explore the levels, it's fun. As soon as that timer runs out,
it's too
all your fun is gone.
Yeah, it's not high up there. How about difficulty? So final talking point, and then we'll get into our little review. So difficulty. To find everything in the game, like 5 out of 5. I don't know if you could do it. Beat this game legitimately. It'd be very, very difficult, time-consuming, frustrating. With a guide, maybe a map, 3, 4 out of 5. It's like not impossible.
Yeah, especially considering some of the levels are literally just like run around, grab all the people, and exit. Like there's not even an alien in some of the later levels, which is so weird. And it's like, this is just in here for padding. Like, you clearly just need an extra level.
Yeah. Okay, guys, copy and paste. A couple more levels. We need to get to 17. The Commodore 64, they're doing 14. Well, we got to beat them. All right. How about
throwing a timer on low health? It's a 5 out of 5 for sure for difficulty.
Okay, sweet. So in terms of reviews, what's your favorite part of Alien 3?
I love the guns.
Yeah.
Being like the flamethrower and like that, like you said, the pipe, like that pipe bomb gun.
Boop.
Yeah, so satisfying. And when it blows up, the things it's like that kind of. Like,
oh yeah.
Like,
well, even so just I love the intro screen of the Sega Genesis that has with like just the alien drooling, and you hear it like, and you're like, wow. So yeah, the sound design, the gun selection, blowing up aliens is the best part. If it was, you should just be able to sit and kill them all, or like have a limited number of enemies. I don't know, instead of infinitely spawning. Because that's always fun when you have limited ammo. Good job, game. It's stupid.
Yeah. It's very dumb.
That actually, I think, gets me more, is when you have limited ammo, but there's infinite enemies. Because I'm like, what's the strategy? Like, the strategy is to kill nothing? Right?
And if the enemies don't drop ammunition, that's the other thing. Like, if they could drop ammo or something, but they can't because they're aliens.
Yeah, it's just that terrible... It's arcadey. It's super arcadey. It's not horror. Because Resident Evil has limited ammo, but there's also limited enemies. So, like, you have to decide which do you kill. Ooh, interesting. Survival. This is just, eventually you'll run out and you'll just die, I guess. So what was the most notable part of this game? So this is the part where maybe you haven't played it for a while. Maybe your memory's a little hazy on how this game works. What's the thing that stays with you the longest? Is it the scary alien on the game start screen? The wide arsenal of weapons? Climbing up the ladders? Rescuing prisoners? Killing aliens? How about the guardians or the bosses? The chest bursters when the time runs out? Missing a platform and falling? Dead ends? What's the most notable part of this game?
I think we kind of talked about it again, but it's that sound effects.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like, I think it's one of those things where that those sound effects has stayed with me all these years of my life, where I kind of just like, I know vividly what that pipe gun sounds like.
It's amazing.
Or what the plasma rifle is like. I know exactly what that sound is, even though like a game like Halo, I could that's an assault rifle, but if you like played me a sound clip of these guns, I would be like, I know what that gun is. That's this gun from Aliens. Alien 3.
I agree. I kind of think it's like myself, first level, opening title screen, scary alien, you hear him drooling. I literally can hear it in my head, to you're in the first stage, and then you run to the left, and all of a sudden an alien hops out of the ground, and you're like, ah! And you just start like blowing stuff up, and that poop. Love that pipe gun so much. It's just, perfect. So that's definitely sound design in this game is just exceptional, right? It's lived with me for, when did I think we got this? Like 16 years or something like that? No, more than that. 26 years, potentially. This is like, those songs have lived in my head. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah. Because that doesn't happen with modern games and stuff. So.
I don't listen to this. There's lots of games like, I couldn't tell you what Secret of Mana sounds like at all.
Yeah, no, I couldn't tell you a song.
No,
if you played it for me.
No. Okay, what about our least favorite part? All right, where would you start? So, how restrictive your character feels, right? You kind of have that preset jump. You don't have the controls. Don't love the Castlevania design there, guys. It always feels wrong not to be able to jump on enemies in a platformer. Yeah, there's lots of platforming, and as soon as you give me a platformer and you're like, jump to this and climb over here, and then there's an enemy that I can't jump on, I'm like, guys, Mario is like the first video game that figured this out. How's everyone else just like, oh no, or at least like you bounce, so I don't know, something.
Well, yeah, and it's bad enough in this game that if you fall far enough, you'll just like fall on your face. Like Ripley will just be like, no, I'm falling on my face now, and it's just like you're instantly taking damage, and then you slowly get up. There's also the dreaded, if you're crawling through the like ventilation shafts, if you have to go up down a ladder and there's like, it's not a dead end, like you can keep going past it, trying to get onto that ladder is so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's just my least favorite part.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is, it's just the timer. It's just the timer. But like the bad controls mixed with the timer is just like, this game could be fun. It could be fun. It's not so difficult that it's impossible. Like you only are really going to run into aliens, and then you might get a guardian every once in a while. But that's it. It's not that difficult. Just got to explore, get all the people, make the exit. But the time limit and the like frustrating. So like Ripley jumps like 8 foot.
Yeah.
Has like no jump. Got hit moving platforms. There's timing involved, and you're just like this clunky mess with fun guns and cool aesthetic.
And like so many Sega games, I'm thinking like Jurassic Park, X-Men, Alien 3 all has the exact same. You kind of jump shitty. Even Sonic. Oh, here's a platform. Oh, you missed it. Oh, you're gonna fall down. Why?
Yeah.
Why? How's this fun? How about a criticism? So the random dead ends in the area that don't lead to any reward. What do you accomplish in there, game designers? I travel all the way over here. I get to this area, and there's nothing. There's no enemy. There's no ammo. There's no prisoners. Dead end in video games just eat up time, and in a game where you have to save all your friends before the time runs out, it basically is just a death sentence, right? It's just a waste. It's just a quarter suck. There should be no dead ends in a game like this. It has a time limit. Like, at the very least, you should always be trying to reward me to want to explore, to give me a reason to check, hey, what's over there, right?
Or cleverly, like, loop back to an area that you kind of, like, move somewhere else.
Just give me a reward. Health, ammo, a special gun, make it feel like I'm not wasting my time. But when you put a dead end in a game that has a time limit, you're literally just wasting my time. Like, haha, you idiot. I guess you have to start again because you took 3 dead ends in this level. What? Why? Right? Like, make it a challenge. Oh, if you get to that dead end, yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but guess what? You get this, like, super plasma flamethrower bomb launcher, and you're like, oh, that's good. Okay, sweet. And then there's a like, you know, you're always rewarded. But a game that dead ends and you're wasting my time is some of the worst game design ever. And the fact that, like, the 4 levels that I played of this game, I kept running into dead ends. It's just it's a killer. Like, I didn't finish this game because of it, because I was like, no, if you're gonna be like that, then I don't want to play you, right? Like, it's such lazy design. It doesn't reward the player. It doesn't give me any reason to keep wanting to move forward. And literally, that's why I'm playing this game, because I should be wanting to have fun and beat it. So that's my criticism. Do you have a criticism?
Yeah, just like, this game was clearly developed by people who used to work on arcade games, not console games. Because if like you said, the awkward dead ends with a time limit, and you have, like, limited ammo and unlimited respawning enemies. Like, if you're gonna dead end things, put a reward there, but also,
or
like,
creature comforts, save features, passwords, right? Like,
let's or have your, like, time limit, I don't know, not give you, like, you don't,
well,
like,
also
allow people to,
but, like, also just doesn't make sense. Like, there's a guy and he's chained up and you run past him and you save him, and if the time limit expires, a chest burster gets out of him. So, like, he's dead anyways?
Oh, and they're all dead anyways, because it's like, what are you gonna do? They just get out of there. It's not like, oh, they've been cured.
Exactly. You're not running by and like, oh, I guess we'll take that chest burster out. Yep, I got this special tool.
Yeah.
So it's like, and goofy.
Yes. It's goofy, very, like, limited, and it's just so restrictive. Like, this game has lots of potential, but fails to live up to basically any of it besides the sound effects and kind of the, like, bit of the aesthetic and the monsters.
Yeah. So finally, a praise. Cool. So they did a great job of creating the xenomorph sprites. Yeah, sound design, xenomorphs, great. At least they went through the trouble of designing a game that looks like the movie universe, right? I think I had a rant on the Disney trio about this. So even though I don't agree with the gameplay, level design, logic of the game, it does look like Alien 3, right? We just watched Alien, we watched Aliens, and not having to go and watched Alien 3 and kind of feeling like I kind of got a satisfying experience. I was like, oh yeah, that's what it looks like. And oh, it does kind of look like the movie. And like, oh yeah, okay, cool. They obviously cared and wanted to create something for the fans, and kind of, and it shows. It's just, unfortunately, the way they made games at the time and what they thought were the correct, like, they didn't know these things, I guess, right? There wasn't the analysis, there wasn't people doing it right, being like, oh, that's how we should make video games. That's how we're doing it, right? It was kind of a little bit of the Wild West at this point, so I'm not going to, like, ostracize anyone that worked on this game. It's just the way they made games back in the day. Yeah, it didn't quite hold up. So how about yourself? A final praise for Alien 3.
Like I said, there's some good fundamentals here that are really fun and there's a reason this has been kind of on our list. Because it kind of just sticks with you. There's something about, like, it's a bad game, but it's an intriguing bad game. So it's doing a lot like it leaves you with the what if. Like, what if this was an Aliens game and there was no time limit? I would be so happy, and I could just run around, save people, and, like, have different characters to choose from, and maybe some people move faster and jump higher. It's like there's such an interesting concept, like, I think you could build on and fix with just a simple couple revisions. And I just wish that that Aliens would actually fall into the hands of people who kind of care and want to throw kind of take some interesting ideas that were done in the past and just kind of refine them and make them really good. Because I think that there's this, if I could just get my hands on this thing and develop a game, I think I could make a really fun Sega game with just basing it on aliens.
Okay,
and
cool.
this kind of fundamentals. So
yeah, like there were some things. Maybe on our what would we change? Well, I'll mention. Okay, cool. So with that, yeah, I agree. Endings of this game. So on the Sega Genesis, as Ripley leaves Fury, she looks behind one last time. I've done it. Well done. You have rid the planet of alien menace and won the game. Credits. So remember when Ripley left and flew away in her ship and she's like, yep, I'm an alien hunter now. Good job, me. Or in the Super Nintendo version, you enter the alien nest, access a terminal, and turn on a machine that pushes the queen into lava. Ripley then says all the aliens are dead except for the one in her. So she also jumps into the lava.
Yeah, very, that's kind of a mix of the aliens ending in Alien 3, but I think that the people who made this game didn't have the final script and didn't get to see the final movie.
No.
So they were like,
No. Because that's how it happens. In Alien 3 is like she like
yeah, but there's no queen.
Wow, but like I mean, what do we?
That's what I was getting at. Like, yeah, of course she sacrifices herself.
Yeah, but like there's also only one alien in this movie. In that movie, so
yes.
So like as soon as you start the game, and you shoot the first one. You're like, oh, okay, it's over.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Current thoughts? I think it's a fine experience. If you like Contra and love the Alien universe, it's probably a pretty solid addition as a retro video game, right? If you haven't checked those out before, you're like, oh, I like Contra. Oh, I like Alien. Great, play this game. You're like, cool. I didn't know this game existed. That's awesome. If you don't like those things, don't play this game.
Yeah. I think it's okay, but skippable, probably, when it kind of falls down in our rankings. It's, unless you really like aliens and enjoy and have a nostalgia for Sega games and Super Nintendo games, you're probably not going to want to go back to this. Like, just go play an Alien vs. Predator game. You'll probably have a better time. But if you like 2D platformers and love Sega and love Super Nintendo, and you love aliens, it's interesting checkout. I think that this game with like maybe unlimited continues and a really good map, you'd probably have a fine time.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, you know, one of those things we never really mentioned. It's like, what's up with the map situation? It is
It's like they're going for a cute little. Here's this blinker that sometimes runs out, which is also just like, oh my god, my map is limited. I only got a map for so long.
And you gotta find batteries.
And then you're like, beep,
that's
beep.
terrible.
Like,
don't take away my map.
Oh, there's a guy. There's an enemy over there. Better go kill them.
But it's also useless because, like, a lot of time, like, if they're bursting through the ground, they're already on top of you. So it's a useless little, like, improve that and then actually give me a map that I can just select so I can see where I'm supposed to go.
In a game that has
exit.
In a game that has limited enemies, damn right that would work, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's only so many enemies. You don't have enough ammo. You better. What's the right way around the vents to, Resident Evil style? Make it a bit more of a survival horror game. Cool, great.
Yeah. So you can go slow, but there's a time limit. But
in a run and gun action game where you have to go and all of a sudden your map goes away and I'm like, what is my reward for playing this game? I'm not having fun, obviously. I'm yelling at my screen. Like, yeah, it's not good. What would you change? For myself, I think I would clean up the generic level. No. Guys. Why wouldn't they create a video game that has a strong female protagonist that uses tools to explore a space station / planet while fighting this perfect organism? Maybe the tools and the weapons like act as keys to help explore. Metroid stole from Aliens. Why didn't Aliens steal from Metroid? It was right there. Just make a Metroid game.
Oh yeah, and it's like you're on Sega. Sega's gonna be like, sure, make a Metroid game.
Oh, you don't have weapons because there are no weapons. Okay, cool. So you have to like get a little welding gun that like helps you get through doors. Okay, cool. Now you can go do this. Oh, but watch out for the alien because you don't have the right tools to fight him, and the alien can just chase you the whole game. Just make Metroid.
And imagine instead of making like 16 different levels, you make like 7 different areas and just link them together.
Oh, interesting. Oh, fascinating. Okay, cool. So, like, I thought that was a pretty simple change. Or go over the top. Make a Contra. make it run and gun. You're running, you have tons of ammo, it's like ridiculous, it's over the top. Oh, now you've got a machine gun that shoots 3 flamethrowers in different directions at the same time. Like,
and then you can get like a mech suit upgrade.
yeah, do something, right? Like give yourself, exactly, you're at a power loader at some point walking around killing stuff. So like give me over the top, or give me a bit more like low-key Metroid style game. Don't give me this weird in between where you're like, what kind of game are you trying to create, right? And that is that fundamental message that the game designers weren't sure of. They're like, I don't know, it's gonna be kind of a it's just gonna feel like every other Sega game, really. Oh, good job, Sega team.
Yeah. My quick and dirty change, because we've talked about lots of things that we changed, because I think this game is like it is interesting, and there's like, you could make something fun out of this, but they just didn't. My quick and dirty change is just let us turn off the timer.
Yeah.
Let's turn off the timer
yeah. Fair
and
enough.
give us unlimited continues, and then we can just play, like, you can slowly play your way through the game, and it can be more of a horror game as opposed to being forced into a run and gun shooter while trying to memorize levels. It would just give us that option. Make that the easy option. I don't care. I will take a bad ending or whatever. Just like let that thing exist. So why are you locking that away? That is an easy thing you can just unlock in a menu. But so that's my quick and dirty change.
No, and that's
interesting.
Yeah, no, that's
definitely flawed.
Yeah, that's probably a good one. But are you buying it? So, fan theory. Before we end this game, any other points you want to say before? Yeah, and mine were cheating. Well, why don't you just make it Metroid? Well, Metroid's really good. Why don't we just make every game Metroid? Idiot. Tyson's answer was correct. It's, yes, just clean up 1 or 2 things and make the game better. That's what it's supposed to be, but I cheated.
Nah, I like yours more because it's so much fun.
Yeah, cool.
Like, it's fun to what if.
Yeah, true. But are you buying it? So a company of that size and influence would almost certainly have genetic information about their crew members. Oh, interesting. I started mid-sentence. So the theory is Weyland Yutani found something in Ripley's DNA suggesting that she would make the perfect host for a xenomorph queen. This is further backed up in Alien 3 when Ripley finds out that she has infected her is not just any old xenomorph. If Ripley truly is uniquely suited for a host a queen, it could explain why Weyland Yutani seemed to do everything in their power to get Ripley implanted. Okay.
Yeah, it is interesting to be like the...
That would make sense in Aliens. Why do they want her to head back? Well, they want her on the planet because they know there's aliens, and if she gets impregnated, they guarantee themselves a queen. Okay, cool. Why do they go through so much trouble and come and get her in Alien 3? Why do they make her in Alien Resurrection? Yeah, cool. I could buy that.
Yeah. I think it's more along the lines of like, a xenomorph can turn anything, and like it can make a queen if it wants. That would just make more sense. Like then you're always like that. Like xenomorphs would always be waiting for like this perfect quote unquote host to come along, so it could make another queen to like. Usually, the way it would work is like
xenomorphs.
Like ants.
Yeah, xenomorphs are just random. Like they don't know, right? They just impregnate people, and then eventually a queen shows up, and she kind of helps propagate because she can make eggs on her own. I guess is like the theory, right? So
I always kind of took it like ants. Like when one ant, like if there becomes too many ants in one colony, they'll make another queen larva, and then they'll send that off, and half of the colony leaves with that larva. So there's like the old colony, and then there's this new other colony. It's kind of like a colony B, and then it would spread like that. So that's how I always kind of took what aliens or xenomorphs would do. Is they're kind of like they get to such a big style, and then the queen would send half her troops or send half the colony away with like another queen larva or queen facehugger, what the heck they are, because there was like queen facehuggers or something, or there's supposed to be like that in one of the video games or somewhere. The backing knowledge, it's
but like
Alien franchise is deep, and
the lore
my brain is so small.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, everything in Alien is a, because remember the first one when people became eggs? Actually, I was thinking about that as we were ripping on the guy in the first Alien podcast. I was like, maybe that's what his math is. because the only way xenomorphs can make eggs, they have to capture one guy, turn him into an egg. That egg then infects the next person. So remember when he was saying the math about the soldiers?
Yeah.
Right? That would make sense. So for every 2 people that go away, they capture, only 1 xenomorph could ever come back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So that's why
I
every
could see
remaining
that.
soldier only has to kill half a soldier. Or half a xenomorph. Yeah. Okay, cool. So sorry, kid, that we made fun of.
Yeah. No, we only make fun of and out of love.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So there you go. So Tyson thought too much about my Are You Buying It? Do we have time to do cultural significance? I really had nothing. I assumed we would be short on time, and I wrote down a top 10 list of horror movie tie-in games.
We got 2 minutes. Rip through it, and then we'll say our buys.
Okay.
Be quick.
But we're short on time. Here we go. Some other horror movie tie-in games for Halloween, potentially. Yay. Number 10 is The Thing from 2002. That could actually be a fun one. If we could get an old PS2 and like an Xbox and like play that, I bet you we'd have a lot of fun with that.
I'd be down to play that.
Okay. Number 9 is Friday the 13th on the NES. Yeah, maybe at some point we also play that. God damn it. Land of the Dead, Road to Fiddler's Green from 2005. I didn't know that was a movie or a game.
I think we could probably skip it.
Yeah. How about Blair Witch? And no, not the new one. It was like an older one. It looked terrible.
Oh, the new one kind of caught my eye, but maybe that's something we'd play when we're hanging out one time and decide.
Yeah, I think so. How about on the Atari for the next 2, we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1986 and Halloween. 5.
As much as like that's fun, it's like no, I think Atari games we just skip.
Absolutely not. 4 is Saw from 2009. I've heard it's terrible. I believe it.
Yeah, I think this is made by a bad developer too, so skip it.
Okay. Number 3 is X-Files for the PS2.
X-Files always intrigued me,
Maybe?
But maybe like when we get a little older, I feel like I need more time for the X-Files to sink in.
Okay. Number 2 is Jaws Unleashed. So if you ever wanted to play as Bruce the Shark, oh boy, you can.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Oh, you haven't seen this game? Like you swim around the ocean and you can attack people on ships and just cut.
I think so, because there's also another like modern one that's like you can be a megalodon or a giant crocodile. So
cool.
It's kind of like a spin-off of that.
Right. And number 1 obviously is Predator Concrete Jungle for the PS2. Of all the horror movie tie-in games, is Predator
interesting
a horror movie?
Kind of. I don't really consider it that. It's more actiony with a monster movie, less horror.
Yeah,
because I don't think monster movies have to necessarily be horror. Like,
no. Yeah, like Godzilla, I wouldn't say is horror.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a creature feature. Creature features are kind of their own thing. So cool, awesome.
Yeah.
So we did it, guys. We're under our time limit. Pew pew pew. I don't have to cut out random parts of our conversation. Life is sweet. So with that, happy Halloween. You know what the scariest thing was? You didn't get to listen to us talk about something fun like the new Goosebumps that was released on Disney Plus. No.
Yeah, I just saw that.
No.
But you know what? Maybe next time.
No. We talked about Aliens 3, so that's kind of a fun way. It's better. I mean, it's less scary than talking about the actual movie. So.
True. And it's an interesting thing if you have never seen it or checked it out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I think I have to say James Bond and. That's it.
Cool. Good
for me.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to say bye and get out of here.
See ya.
Bye.